All right, listen. We all know what's going on out there. It's time we had a serious conversation about prepping. With what I do, I've seen this go wrong too many different ways, and we need to have a serious talk about how to prep your recording sessions and your files for the mix the proper way. Yeah, let's get into it. All right, all jokes aside, preparing for the mix is a very serious thing. So in this video, we are going to make sure that you understand everything that you need to do, whether you're using Pro Tools or anything else, to get your project prepared for mixing or to send off to the mix engineer. But first, a quick update here. I just launched something I've been working pretty hard on, and I wanted to share it with you guys. If you have any interest in having me mix a project for you or your song that you're working on, you can book me at the booking page at ANDREWMASTERSmusic.com. And as you know, I am also a drummer and obsessed with drums and recording drums and everything, all drums all the time. You can have me play drums and record drums here in my studio remotely for your song or for your project at ANDREWMASTERSmusic.com. If you're interested, go check it out. Links down below in the description. Thank you so much, and let's make some music. All right, I'm gonna get straight to the point. There's two columns that you are gonna fit in here. And the first column is if your project was recorded and is currently in a Pro Tools session. The second column is if you're anyone who is not in a Pro Tools session. Okay, I'm mostly kidding. It really doesn't matter which digital audio workstation you're using, whether it's Pro Tools, Logic, Reaper, it doesn't matter. The preparation is really the same. No matter which column you're in, before the end of this video, you're gonna feel comfortable and be completely ready to send your files over to the mixer. Or if you're mixing it or a friend's mixing it, you're just gonna make it a lot easier for them after watching the entire video. Hit the like button. Thank you. Step one, bounce a mix of the current state of the song, how it is right now, and then add that into the session folder for the engineer who's mixing it or the person who's mixing it to reference how you have it with your settings and sort of the direction that you were going in. Step two, do a save as on the session, title it the title of the song, the beats per minute of the song, and add the word mix. This is obviously not required, but it spells it out to the mixer which file they should be opening. Step number three, now this should actually go in both columns. So if you have any virtual instruments or any MIDI files or any tracks that are not committed to audio, the first thing you're gonna wanna do is make sure that the current output level of those tracks is at a healthy level and it's not clipping or peaking. Once you've double checked on the levels of all of those tracks, commit those tracks to audio files. Now, depending on which digital audio workstation you're working in, the language, the verbiage might be a little bit different. Commit it, bounce it, whatever it is, make it audio. Make it a printed audio file. Number four, select the duration of the song that you would like to be mixed. The best way to do this is to go to the very beginning of the song. I like to add an extra bar of pre-roll before the song starts, and you do your start selection at beat 1 of that bar. And then you're going to highlight all the way to the very end of the song. Everything that you want to be mixed, have that included in your selection. And then once you've selected the duration of the song, export each individual track in the session to .wav files. Now, when you export them, please double check that you have the settings for the exported audio the same as your session settings, meaning that the bit rate and the sample rate match the settings of the session that they are in. You do not want to be exporting them at different sample rates and sending it to the mixer. Keep it consistent. So when you export all of these individual tracks, make sure that you are exporting them all into a specific folder just for those audio files that you are exporting. And then do the same thing. Label that folder, the song title, BPM, mix files, so that it's very clear to the mixer, oh, this is what I'm looking for. Here's all the mix files, and they can import it into their session of whatever DAW they're using. Also make sure that you include the mix that you bounced in the beginning in the same export folder for the mixer that they can use as a reference to how the song was sounding before they received the files. Once all of the files have been exported properly, double check that everything is actually inside of that export folder. Make sure that you didn't skip anything or you didn't miss anything because you don't want the mixer to get it and then suddenly the background vocals aren't there or whatever it might be. So double check that everything is actually in the folder that you want the mixer to receive. Next, this is probably one of the most important. Go into that folder and actually listen. Just quickly audition each audio file and make sure there's actually audio on it. You'd never know if you accidentally had something muted and you don't want to send a bunch of blank audio files to the mixer because that's gonna be awkward. Next thing I'll say, shoot over any additional information to the mixer about the direction of the mix that you'd like them to go. Make sure to include a few songs for the mixer to reference so that they can get an understanding. Oh, you want more of like a Maroon 5 pop, this kind of thing, or, whatever it is, include the reference songs for the mixer to use because this is incredibly helpful for the mixer to get the song from where it is to where you want it to be. The more clear and simple that you can make this for the mix engineer, the better the process is going to be for everybody. If you have some tracks like a vocal that has some processing that you really like or some effects that you really like, when you go to export that track, export a version with the processing and label it processed vocals, and then export it again without the processing and label them accordingly. This really helps the mixer understand the style that you're looking for as far as, let's say, your vocal sound or what drum sound or whatever the track may be that you have a sound that you like. Maybe they'll use it, maybe it'll serve as a reference, but either way, that will make the process easier for both of you. Awesome. Last thing I'll throw in about Pro Tools, if you can confirm that the mix engineer is using the same DAW that you're using, whether it's Pro Tools or whatever it is, if they're using the same system as you and they're comfortable with it, you can do your save as, you can do your bounce out of the mix, but then you could just close the session, compress or zip the folder into a file, and then send that along with the notes and your references to the mixer. That way they can just open your session how you left it and pick up from there and adjust anything as they see fit. Now on to the topic of transferring the files. A couple good websites that you can use to transfer your files are WeTransfer.com or Dropbox.com. I've used both of them and they both work fine. Go check them out. Either way, take your time, do it right, and you will be very pleased with the results. The easier that you make it on the mixer, the more efficient and creative the mixer can be at their job. That being said, jump on over to ANDREWMASTERSmusic.com and book me to mix your project or to add session drums onto your song right now. Link down in the description. If you liked the video, make sure to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Really helps the channel. If you want to see more content like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified the next time I upload a new video. And yeah, with that being said, I guess I will just see you in the next video. Peace.